So this episode begins exactly where the last one ended. At the end of the previous episode, we saw that our main character, Mikata, tells them, bro, there weren't just random coins in that vehicle. The vehicle had exactly 1,1200 coins. That's what you saw at the end. As for the talk about 2.5 lakh coins, that was never real. Hearing this, the governor, who had been calm till now, suddenly loses it. He says, what nonsense. We would leave 2.5 lakh coins out in the open and send an empty truck? Nonsense. This is complete nonsense. You're just blabbering nonsense after nonsense. Our Mikata replies, I'm not talking nonsense. I can show you proof right here. As for how the blast happened in the vehicle, I can even show you that. For that, I just need paper and pen. So the paper and pen are brought to him. He starts writing some names and other things. He says, here, bring me all of this stuff. The governor looks at it a bit confused. He wonders, what's he gonna do with this? And his handwriting, it's horrible. The girl who's there also takes a look and says, let me see too. As she reads, she sees just a few items written down. She thinks, I thought this guy was some genius warrior who would solve the case, but he's just calling for a few random things. What's that going to do? The watchman takes a look too. He starts to get an idea of what Mikata is trying to do, but even he thinks, damn, this guy's handwriting is seriously trash. They ask Mikata, you really think you can do this? Mikata replies, maybe. By chance, if I actually manage to solve this case, will you release me and my entire family? The listener says, yes, if the case is solved, we'll release you and your family. Mikata replies, good. All right, look, I can't say 100% that it'll work, but there's a high chance it might. You see, when something was thrown in water, there was an explosion. Just like sodium, when it touches water, it blasts. That's why I asked for a few things, so I can create an element that explodes in water, so that I can prove that humans did this, not some demon. And that my second uncle was falsely accused. As he starts building it, all steps are completed, except for two things, fire and electricity. He says, I can't produce fire and electricity myself. I'm a cultivator, but not that skilled. A cultivator from another set could probably do it. So this wasn't done by a normal cultivator. Hey, madam, you're from the set called Skynet, right? She replies, yes. I'm from Skynet, but how do you know that? Next to her was a token. It was clearly written on the token. So he says, you know what? My master is the leader of Koon's share. Even Mikata is amazed. Whoa, she's the direct disciple of a leader? This is going to be fun. Listen, you're also an alchemist, right? An alchemists can create fire. Can you create a small fire to help melt this? She replies, yes, I can create a small flame. But wait, my master gave me this token. There's a large fire sealed inside it, much stronger than mine. She takes out the token and releases the fire inside onto the sodium element he was preparing. Mikata says, good, now I need electricity. Can you create some? She produces electricity and asks, who should I give it to? He replies, no one. Just drop a little bit into this. Not too much. She does so. Mikata says, good, that's enough. That's perfect. A proper piece of sodium is now ready. If you've studied science, you know, when sodium touches water, it really explodes. That's what he wanted to prove. The element is ready. He shows it to everyone. Look, this is what I've created. It looks like silver, right? But its weight is far less than real silver. That's why it was placed inside the vehicle. The public thought there was silver inside, but this isn't silver, it's this. They touch it and realize, yeah, its weight is way too low. It really was a replacement. The girl also says, wow, you created something this amazing? Are you an alchemist too? Mikata replies, no, I'm not an alchemist. I'm actually just a chemistry student. She asks, chemistry? What's that? Mikata says, forget it, you won't understand. The governor says, all right, fine. Let's accept that fake silver coins were used. But what about the blast that happened when it touched water? That had to be done by demons, right? Which means the main act was definitely carried out by demonic cultivators. Mikata interrupts. No, this fake silver. Just wait. Let me show you something cool. He throws it into water, just like I said. The moment it hits water, it explodes. Everyone watches in shock. Oh my God! This fake silver thing actually explodes when it touches water? They realize the mastermind used fake silver coins first, made them look real, and when they hit water, they exploded. So now everyone thinks that a demon cultivator did it. All attention gets focused on the demons, and no suspicion falls on the real culprit. These people were really smart. The Watchman says, yeah, bro, only when you use that post technique did the truth come out. He adds, because they were telling the truth too. They didn't even know such a shady trick was used. The main character said, yes, those 1,200 silver coins you found, I believe what really happened is this. Fake sodium coins were placed inside the box, and on top of that, 1,200 real silver coins were placed, so that no one would ever suspect what was hidden beneath. Hearing this, they say, yeah, now everything you're saying makes perfect sense. The Watchman looks and thinks, man, this guy is really smart. He's ready to pat him on the shoulder in appreciation, but the main character has OCD. OCD, the kind of condition where if you see things messed up or unorganized, like clothes scattered, slippers turned the wrong way, or blankets not folded right, you have to fix them. Even the main character's clothes were like that, super neat and organized. So the Watchman pats him on the shoulder and also straightens out his clothing. The main character looks over and thinks, wow, they just appreciated me? I can't believe it. But wait, the case still isn't solved. He realizes that yes, a human definitely staged this entire thing deliberately, but who exactly did it? Also, if fake silver was placed in the box, then where did the real silver go? There were a lot of people who handled those coin boxes, moving them from place to place, teleporting them here and there. So who exactly switched them? There's no clear idea. If we start asking everyone one by one, it'll take forever. The Watchman offers a thought. Look, bro, if the switch had happened at the beginning, someone would have noticed. But I think it was switched much later, like way later. The governor asks, switched way later? Then who could have done it? He says, I suspect one particular person, someone who could have pulled it off that late. Quick, get me a horse. I'm going straight to that person. The main character says, yeah, go safely, but hey, don't forget about me. Free me and my family, all right? But they just ride off without replying. The main character watches them leave and thinks they're going to find out who did it. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. If they do, I hope they recover the 2.5 lakh coins. Then maybe we'll all be freed. Now, everything depends on luck. The girl also says, bro, tell me how you did it. The main character had used salt and other ordinary things to make the sodium. She asks, how did you convert salt into that? Tell me. Come on. She says, wait, you're not going to just say it like that? Fine, here, take this sugar cane from me. Eat it and then tell me. The main character says, actually, there was a sheet, a book. It's from that book that I got the idea. She asks, which book? The main character thinks to himself, it was from my 9th grade chemistry textbook, chapter 69, that I learned this. But how do I explain that to her? So he says out loud, there was a book, but it got burned. I remembered what was in it and recreated it from memory. She says, then teach me, please. The main character replies, right now I'm in danger. I seriously can't teach you right now. If you help me survive, then I'll teach you. She says, this case, it involves the king, and I'm a member of the set. We set members never interfere in the king's matters or with anyone related to him. So whether you live or die depends on today. The main character says, don't say that, please. Let me join your set. That way, at least I'll survive. She replies, you're a warrior, right? You fight for the kingdom. Then why do you want to become a cultivator? Why join the set? He says, because I really admire your leader. I want to be like them. He thinks to himself, honestly, I don't even know who their leader is. I just want to depend on strong cultivators so I can survive. She says, fine. If you want to join, then teach me about that thing first. Then maybe I can consider taking you in as a disciple. The main character says, look, that NCERT book had some crazy things in it. You probably wouldn't even understand them. She says, so creating stuff like that, that's alchemist work, right? And no group in the world is better at alchemy than our set. Tell me, I'll understand everything. He says, okay, listen, you know the periodic table? It has 118 elements. He starts listing their names. She's never even heard these names in her life. She's stunned. What is he even saying? I don't get a single word. In the end, she gets angry and grabs her sugarcane back. She says, you're joking around, aren't you? You don't want to teach me. As for becoming a disciple, our set only accepts virgins as disciples. Forget it. She storms off. He shouts, hey, I am a virgin. In this life and the last life too. I've never had sex. Just then, a guard shows up and says, all right, back to jail. And that's where this chapter ends. So what do you think, bro? Will the main character solve the case? Will he survive? We'll find out in the next episode.